A trooper's life was made for me.
On the road since 31.
On the road since 31.
That's the year we first begun.
That's the year we first begun.
86 years have come and gone.
86 years have come and gone.
And the tradition marches on.
And the tradition marches on.
Hail, hail, DPS.
Hail, hail, DPS.
King of the road, we are the best.
King of the road, we are the best.
Nothing in this world is free.
Nothing in this world is free.
A trooper's life was made for me.
A trooper's life was made for me.
Truth and justice on my side.
Truth and justice on my side.
The silver tan I wear with
The
pride.
silver tan I wear with pride.
And all I do, I give my best.
And all I do, I give my best.
The 7 points are on my chest.
The 7 points are on my chest.
Hail, hail, DPS.
Hail, hail, DPS.
King of the road, we are the best.
King of the road, we are the best.
Nothing in this world is free.
Nothing in this world is free.
A trooper's life was made for me.
A trooper's life was made for me.
A God above is what they say.
God above is what they say.
Troopers come to save the day.
Troopers come to save the day.
Lift your head and hold it high.
Lift your head and hold it high.
State troopers marching by.
State troopers marching by.
Hail, hail, DPS.
Hail, hail, DPS.
King of the road, we are the best.
King of the road, we are the best.
Nothing in this world is free.
Nothing in this world is free.
A trooper's life was made for me.
A trooper's life was made for me.
29 troopers have paid the price.
29 troopers have paid the price.
For the silver tan they sacrificed.
For the silver tan they sacrificed.
They're in our hearts, they're in our minds.
They're in our hearts, they're in our minds.
We salute the families left behind.
We salute the families left behind.
Right in! Feast!
I'd like to invite DPS Chaplain Mark McCrory to offer an invocation.
Thank you, Major. Class 500, on behalf of the Employee Assistance Unit and all of your chaplains who serve across the state of Arizona, congratulations. The atmosphere in there is electric. We couldn't be any prouder of you and to have you join the ranks of our sworn troopers. I know that we're always here to serve you. That's our top priority, is serving you. And so I would like to offer this prayer for you. Eternal God, be present with every member of Class 500 and bless them as they begin their new job. Protect them in danger and fear. Grant them diligence and faithfulness that they may meet the needs of others with competence and compassion. Lord, you have called your servants to ventures of which we cannot see the ending, by paths as yet untrodden, through perils unknown. Give us faith to go out with good courage, not knowing where we go, but only that your hand is leading and your love supporting us. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you State Trooper Academy Class 500. Please take your seats. And if we could please acknowledge the DPS Honor Guard and the performance of the National Anthem by Grand Canyon University's own Critical Mass. As we begin today's ceremony, I would like to introduce our special guest and members of the department's senior executive staff who are seated on stage. It is truly our honor to have Arizona's 23rd governor with us today, Governor Doug Ducey. The Director of the Arizona Department of Public Safety, Colonel Frank Milstead. The agency's Deputy Director, Lieutenant Colonel Heston Silver. Assistant Director of the Highway Patrol Division, Lieutenant Colonel Wade Webb. Assistant Director of the Criminal Investigations Division, Lieutenant Colonel Daniel Lugo. Assistant Director of the Technical Services Division, Lieutenant Colonel Tim Chung. Assistant Director of the Agency Support Division, Lieutenant Colonel Ken Hunter. We are also privileged to have in attendance other distinguished guests, including members of the legislature, cabinet member agency directors, members of the governor's staff, and from our agency, I'd like to recognize former DPS Director Roger Vanderpool and all DPS retirees in attendance. Thank you all for being here. We are very fortunate to be holding this graduation on the campus of Grand Canyon University. I am pleased to introduce Mr. Brian Mueller, President and Chief Executive Officer of Grand Canyon. Mr. Mueller has led GCU since July of 2008 and has transformed the university from a small, private, liberal arts, Christian-based university to a thriving center of teaching, learning, and scholarship. Immediately prior to joining GCU, Mr. Mueller was the president of the Apollo Group, the parent company of the University of Phoenix. Mr. Mueller has over 33 years of experience in higher education. Please welcome President Mueller to the podium.
Thank you very much, and thank you for being here. Welcome. When we were approached and asked for the department, that the Department of Public Safety needed a place to have a graduation for its new incoming class of state troopers. It took us about 2 seconds to say we would be absolutely elated and honored to have that privilege of hosting this. We talk a lot at Grand Canyon about living a life of purpose and living a life in service to other people. You men and women have made the ultimate decision to live a life of purpose and to serve other people. With all that's going on in the world today, we still believe that America is the best country to live in. We believe Arizona is the best state to live in, and a big reason is because you've decided to live a life of purpose and to serve us as its citizens. Thank you very much. Congratulations, and we hope you have a tremendous career.
Thank you, President Mueller, and thank you for the use of this wonderful facility and for the GCU staff and all the support that they have offered DPS. It has been absolutely incredible. Today we gather in celebration of a significant milestone in the lives of 39 men and women. Class 500 started as 52 individuals who arrived at the Arizona Department of Public Safety on January 31st for a week of pre-academy. 52 entered the gates of the Arizona Law Enforcement Academy on February 6th for an additional 28 weeks of intensive training that has challenged them academically, physically, and emotionally. Today, 39 remain and will graduate as Arizona State Troopers. Class 500 began as a vision of Colonel Milstead and Deputy Director Silver. At that time, being relatively new to the department, they noticed the difference and uniqueness of this department as compared to other agencies. Their combined vision allowed them to recognize an opportunity to field an academy class comprised solely of cadet state troopers, something that had not been done at the department for 38 years since 1979. There were numerous hurdles to overcome to make today's celebration possible. To say the department was prepared to run an all-DPS class would be overselling our state of readiness. Today's graduation is a celebration of 39 new state troopers, but it is also a celebration of the efforts of a proud agency that can accomplish any task that is set before it. Class 500 could not have been successful without the unwavering commitment of our senior executive staff seated on stage, as well as literally hundreds of our members who have contributed in some fashion or another. It is important to acknowledge those contributions, and I would like to begin by thanking the department's Human Resources Bureau. They were challenged with recruiting, processing, and hiring 52 recruits to fill every seat in the classroom. I recall the whiteboard in the Human Resources Common Area with the large number 52 predominantly displayed as a daily reminder of what that goal was. There was a lot of relief when the staff achieved their target of 52, and they even had a few to spare on the list. I would like to thank Commander Louis Tovar of the Phoenix Police Department, who is currently the Academy Commander. Commander Tovar has supported the department's interest in the all-DPS class and has been an exceptional partner. Additionally, this class could not have been facilitated without the assistance of hundreds of our members who became instructors, actors, and evaluators, as well as their command staff who supported their time away from the districts and sections. On behalf of the department, I thank each and every one of them. And finally, I offer my heartfelt gratitude to the Class 500 planning team, which includes the Academy and training staff. This small group of individuals worked diligently for over a year while still doing their regularly assigned jobs to bring the director's vision to reality. It was certainly my pleasure to work with such an exceptionally talented team. So with the thank yous complete, on with the ceremony. It is an honor for us to be joined today by Governor Doug Ducey. Governor Ducey has been Arizona's governor since January of 2015, and in that time has proven his support not only for public safety in general, but for the Department of Public Safety specifically. Governor Ducey has made public safety a top priority through initiatives to combat human trafficking, drug smuggling, and the scourge of drug addiction. In 2016, Governor Ducey created the Arizona Border Strike Force, which dedicated resources to deter and dismantle transnational criminal organizations exploiting the Arizona-Mexico border. You may have noticed the helicopter you passed on your way into the arena today. That aircraft, which has state-of-the-art technology and equipment and will save many lives over its years of service, was made possible by the support of Governor Ducey and his staff. So whether it's boots on the ground or aircraft overhead, Governor Ducey's efforts directly affect the quality of life and safety for all Arizonans. We're honored to have him with us today, so ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Governor Doug Ducey.
First, I want to say thank you to the Arizona Department of Public Safety and Colonel Frank Milstead for having me here this afternoon. To everyone joining us today on this occasion, especially to Class 500 and your families, thank you for giving me the honor of speaking to you and allowing me to be one of the first to congratulate you on your amazing accomplishment. In these final moments, before you are given this distinct privilege of donning the 7-point gold star and calling yourselves by this distinct title of Arizona DPS Trooper, I invite you to think back to your very first steps on this journey here. Some of you may recall the hot summer morning or the cold winter morning when you rolled out of bed, anxious with anticipation for what your first day at the academy would hold. But I'm going to ask you to go back even further, because making it through the academy was only a test of what already existed inside each of you. You see, there are many people in this world who avoid challenge. There are those that avoid being pushed to their limits, physically and mentally. There are those that refuse to set aside their comfort and sense of safety for an even better reward. But you are different. Each of you chose a more difficult path. A path on which you were willing to be pushed to the breaking point, and even beyond the breaking point, because you knew persevering on that path would only make you stronger. And the foundation of that incredible spirit inside of you began long before this academy. So I want you to think back to the people and to the life experiences that help define who you are today. Maybe your parents or grandparents taught you the meaning of hard work. Maybe it was having children of your own that taught you the meaning of sacrifice. Maybe it was time served in the Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts that inspired you to give back at an early age. Maybe it was your time in our nation's military that instilled a sense of duty in you. Or perhaps it was a teacher, a counselor, a friend, or your spouse who simply believed in you. Whatever path you took to get here, I encourage you to remember the reasons you are really here today. Because in the life of a state trooper, with the sacrifice and risks it involves, it's those reasons that will inspire you when faced with challenges and make every day worthwhile. Those are also the reasons that will keep you determined to make it home at the end of your shift. To be sure, the simple fact that you are sitting here today tells me this: you've got what it takes to be an Arizona State Trooper. And if you're ever tempted to doubt that, just remember the rigors you have already been through. First was your fitness test and written exam. Next came measures of mental aptitude and deep investigation into your lives. Then at the Arizona State Trooper Academy, you underwent 28 weeks of physical and mental testing and preparation, which has refined you even further. It's only after you completed all these trials that you are here today. And now comes the next phase of your journey, where figuratively and literally, the rubber meets the road. After today, you take on the responsibility of serving and protecting the public on behalf of the state of Arizona. Make no mistake, life on the front lines is no small commitment for you or your loved ones. Growing up with a dad who was a cop, I recognize the sacrifice that your spouses and your families who are here today and are also making that sacrifice right alongside you. But as you leave the comforts of your home to protect and serve your community, you'll never be alone. That's because when you become an Arizona State Trooper, you join a new family. Yes, your existing family just got bigger. When you throw on the silver tan uniform, you're joining a family of heroes, past and present, that have served selflessly the state of Arizona. There is perhaps no greater identifiable symbol of our state than the men and women in uniform who uphold the laws we as a society hold dear. Troopers are those that exemplify the very best Arizona has to offer by carrying out their duties and upholding the public trust with the utmost fairness and integrity. Conducting yourself as a state trooper means exercising empathy for your fellow human beings, even when they don't return the favor. When evil threatens, troopers carry out their responsibilities with courage, honor, and impartial judgment. And troopers know that serving on the front line means making decisions not based on what is best for themselves, but what is best for those for whom you serve. As governor, it is my honor to welcome you to a life of public service and call upon you as Arizona State Troopers. May God watch over you and your loved ones as you serve our great country and the great state of Arizona. Class 500, Arizona's newest state troopers. You've waited and worked a long time for this moment, and it's finally here. Soak it in. Congratulations, and God bless you.
Governor Ducey, thank you for being here today, for your comments, and for your support of law enforcement in Arizona. Colonel Frank Milstead was appointed as the Director of DPS by Governor Ducey in February of 2015. Colonel Milstead is a veteran law enforcement professional with over 32 years of experience, which includes 25 years with the Phoenix Police Department, 5 years as the chief of the Mesa Police Department, and 2.5 years as the DPS director. Colonel Milstead is the second Colonel Milstead this agency has known, as his father, Colonel Ralph T. Milstead, was the DPS director from 1980 through 1989. Please welcome Colonel Milstead to the podium.
Good afternoon, and thank you all for being here to celebrate this incredible moment for the men and women on the stage, and really an incredible moment for this agency. As Major McGuffin spoke, he reminded you that this had not occurred since 1979, where we had a trooper-only academy. And why was that? When Lieutenant Colonel Silbert and myself talked, and I will tell you it was his passion that drove this to reality. We saw something different that we hadn't seen at Phoenix PD or at Mesa, as we had both worked at both of those agencies prior. And over my, and I don't like the way this sounds, I like the 32 years better than 3 decades of policing, because that sounds really old. But over my tenure in law enforcement, I had never been in a department that had a culture like this one. And what is it that separates DPS? What makes these state troopers different? Well, first off, I will tell you that they are the most highly trained new officers that the state sees. There is no other agency in the state that trains for 28 continuous weeks. We do that because we ensure that they can do all duties that are required of a state trooper when they walk off the stage. They can investigate a fatal collision. They can process a drug-impaired driver. They can inspect vehicles. They can do interdiction. They're required to do everything the day they walk off the stage, because we put them in remote areas of the state along with the metro areas. We're the only ones that wear a silver tan uniform. This uniform is the face of the agency. It is the only one in the state. We're the only agency left in the state that wears a traditional police uniform. No crazy shorts, no short sleeves, no polos. It's this uniform that you will see on the roads of Arizona. It is this agency that is the emissary for the state. On all corners, whether it is in the Navajo Nation, down in Cochise County along the southern border, along the Colorado River, separating us from California, there are state troopers. And they represent Arizona and Arizona law enforcement at the highest level. So when we decided to put this together and to celebrate this piece of history, to celebrate the steep tradition of this agency, in a graduation and in a training format that never existed before. We wanted to make sure that these men and women knew that what they had done is special, and that I was able to, or we, Heston and I, were able to show this department the value of your culture and your traditions. In a world where the media tries to separate law enforcement as somehow we're different than other people, I want to bring you back. These are different. They're different for great reasons. And all of Arizona law enforcement who wear a uniform, they are different. We have a servant mentality. When we interviewed these cadets, they said similar things. They wanted to give back to the community. They wanted to serve. They wanted to make a difference. Some of them just wanted to drive fast and do cool things, but we just looked over that. But at the end of the day, they really are different. But there's something special about law enforcement that you can find nowhere else. It doesn't exist anywhere else in the professional world. And I think it's what I'm most proud of. when you need a state trooper or you need a police officer, we only ask you two things. You pick up the phone and we ask you, where are you and what do you need? And we will arrive. If you're in the city, within minutes, outlying areas, maybe longer, but that's all we care about. We don't care about how much money you make, what your insurance premiums look like, what race you are, what religion. We are true, unbiased responders because we don't ask, it doesn't matter, we don't care. Where are you? What do you need? And we will respond and we will give you world-class service every time we arrive. And I could not be more proud of that little piece that everyone seems to overlook and forget. State trooper. When I arrived here 2.5 years ago, these were DPS officers. I worked with the two associations and the staff, and everybody told me the same thing. If you're a city police officer or a municipal officer, you're a police officer. If you work for a county, you're a deputy or a deputy sheriff. If you work for a state or a federal agency, you're an agent or an investigator. But everywhere else, except here, if you were a state police officer, you needed to be a state trooper. And that was supported by our governor, and it made the transition easy. And we have rebranded this organization to make sure people know who we are because it matters, because of the pride, the tradition that goes along with this agency. I'm honored to lead this fine department, as my father was some 38 years ago now. The traditions of this agency shouldn't be forgotten, and this format should move forward and press on. As I look back and see these men and women, they have started something very special. Again, after all the years that I've done, I still love coming to work each day. I enjoy what we stand for. I know that the work that these men and women will do will bring calm to chaos. They'll bring safety to unsafe conditions. They will bring empathy. And remember, empathy is not feeling sorry for someone, it's feeling sorry with someone. And with the things that they will see on the roadways and in these cities, empathy will be important. Thank you for taking time out of your Friday to be here for this. Congratulations.